Hi guys, welcome to another virtual program. So I'm going to show you how to embroider these flowers. I make these coin purses for fun, and I use some fun embroidery flowers to dress it up a little bit. I'm going to show you how to make these rosettes, and then some French knots as some little rosebuds, and a little bit of these flowers that just have some petals just starting. So what I'm going to use today are a couple colors of purple. Thought they went well together. Then for the French knots, I'm going to use yellow since they're complementary colors. I thought they would pop and look nice together. And then pick a green that you think would look nice with the thread you chose. These are all kind of muted tones, so I thought this green went well with it. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a needle. So pick the first color you want to go with and put a knot on the end. And then whatever you are going to embroider on. So I make these coin purses. I crochet this round, and then sometimes I put beads on them. This time I decide to use embroidery. And I think these embroidered flowers would look neat on a lot of different things. So you could put it on a cardigan or a sweater to dress it up, a little girl's dress, maybe a pillowcase, or if you are a quilter, you could put it on some of your quilt blocks. I think that would look nice too. So we're going to start with the wagon wheel stitch, and that's going to make our first flower. So find where you want the middle to be. Okay, and then you're going to do each of the spokes. You want to go with an odd number of spokes. I like to use 5. Oops, I got a knot in my thread. You always have to use an odd number. If you do an even number, it just doesn't turn out right. All right. When we embroider, we always get a knot in our thread. Okay, got that out. Okay, there we go. So we got our top stitch. Go back to your middle and do one of the side stitches. Okay, we're going to go back to our middle. Do another stitch. We got 3 now. Now I'm going to start having them come down towards the bottom. All right, there's 4. In the middle again. And there we have 5. Okay, so there's my odd number. Then you come up towards the middle. Sitting outside today, the birds sound beautiful. We had a rabbit make a little nest in our yard. We saw her making it on Easter, and she just let her babies out for the first time today, so that was fun to see. Okay, so we're going to do a weaving pattern. Under, over, under, over, under, over, and you keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so you go under your first spoke, come up through the middle, go under your first spoke, over the next, under the spoke next to that. I like to turn it. Over, under, okay, over, under, and press it down each time you go, over, under, over, under. Okay? Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, go over, under, see it's starting to look like a flower, over, under, over, under, over, under. You don't want to pull it too tight. You want your thread to just go next to the thread before it. If you pull it too tight, you're not going to get the look of the rose petals, okay? So we went under. Now we're going to go over. Now we're going to go under the next spoke. Over this spoke, under this one. Over this spoke, under this one. Over this spoke, under this one. Okay, you see that? Over this spoke, under this one. Over this spoke, under this one. Over this spoke, under this one. You want to keep going until your spokes are covered. Okay, so over this spoke, under this one, over the next spoke, under, maybe a couple more stitches. Over this spoke, under the next, over this spoke, under the next. Okay. I'm going to go around one more time. Over this spoke, under the next. You have to kind of start bending it to see where those spokes are. Okay. Over this spoke, under the next. All right. I think we're all covered there. I'm going to finish off just by poking it through next to where the next spoke would be. Poking it through the back. Okay. There you have your rosette. Then I'm going to finish it off by going back and forth a couple times on the back. And tight your thread. Okay. And then let's do a French knot for the middle. Knot the back end of the next piece. Okay, so you want to do your French knot in the middle. You want to go through the back right through the middle of your flower. I find French knots to be the hardest embroidery there is. Okay, so once you have it through the middle, I loop my thread around the top like this. Okay, then you want to wrap your needle 1, 2, 3 times. Hold it tight if you can. Go back through the middle. Okay, and give it a pull. Okay, and you have your French knot. So there's the middle of our flower. I'm going to finish off the thread on the back again. Trying our best to make the back look nice too, but that's not always easy. Okay. So now let's do some leaves on our rose. And knot the end again. Okay, so you kind of decide where you want your leaves to be. You can also fluff out your rose a little if you want. Stick your needle under some stitches and give it a little zhuzh. Make some of the petals stick out a little bit. Kind of fluffs it out some. Okay, so I think I want one of my leaves to be here. Okay, so to do a leaf stitch, go as close as you can to your flower without going through it. Pull through. And you want to go back through the same spot. Put your finger up to hold it. Okay. Decide how long you want your leaf to be. I made these leaves kind of small, so come up. We want it to maybe be just about that length. Put this loop see how it goes around my needle like that? Okay. So you want to pull now. And you have your leaf. Then you go over that thread right there. That holds your leaf in place. Okay, got one leaf there. So I'm going to do a couple more. Okay, let's put one here. Pull through. Okay, so we're going to do that loop again. Come back through the same spot just about. I like to put my finger there to hold the loop. Make it just about the same size as we did the other. Okay. All right, so we're going to have that thread hold on to our loop. We pull through. We have our other leaf. Okay. And then we're going to do a little tiny stitch over that to hold it in place. Okay, I got 2 leaves. I'm going to do one more. I like to do an odd number of things. It, for whatever reason, looks better to the eye a lot of times. Okay, let's do the next one here. All right, so we came up through the back. Now we're going to go back down through the top, almost the same spot. We have our loop. Hold that with our finger. Okay, and then we are going to decide how long we want our leaf to be. We're going to do it right there. Okay, so we have our needle going through the loop. Pull. All right, there's our leaf. And then right over the top, just do a little stitch. Okay, so we have our rose with our 3 stitches that make our leaves. Okay, I'm going to finish up the green on the back. Okay. And snip your thread. Okay, so you have your first rosette there. Now, I'm going to show you how to do one of these stems with a little French knot bud and a little flower that's budding out just a little bit, okay? All right, so put a knot on your thread. Okay, and kind of decide where you want this to go. I'm going to put it right over here next to what we already did, okay? So we're going to come down through the back, or up through the back again. I'm going to do the back stitch to do this stem. So come up through the back. Okay. Go back down through the front. To do the back stitch on the back, you're going to kind of skip a space. Come up. Then you are going to go back to where you were before. That's why it's called the back stitch, okay? Since we're here already, I am going to put a leaf there. I think it'll look nice there. Okay. So I came up and went down in the same spot, and then I'm going to make my leaf about this long. So go right up through the middle of that loop. Okay. And I have my leaf. Go up to hold it here on the top. Go back down a little stitch to hold it in place. We have our leaf. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add a little more here. I'm going to have a little stem come out here for our French knot to do our rosebud. Oops. Got a knot in my thread again. All right, got that out. Okay. I'm going to go back. Maybe make the stem start going out this way. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to do for my little stem. All right. I'm going to finish off my green now. Go back and forth a couple times to get your thread in there. It doesn't come out. Snip it off. Okay, so let's use a coordinating color of purple to do that other flower. And thread our needle. Sometimes this is the hardest part. All right, got that done. Put a knot on the end of your thread. Birds are singing so pretty. We've had a lot of rain, but it makes the grass really green and pretty, and the birds love it. They sing more after it rains, I think. All right, so you have your knot. This is where we're going to put the top of our flower. So right here. So you can go right on the top there where the flower meets the stem. Okay. Pull through. And then I'm going to do stitch, and then come back up, stitch, almost like a double straight stitch right there. All right. So here's our first petal. And I'm going to go back through where the stem is again. And almost like I'm doubling up that stitch. Okay, so there's our first little petal. Then I'm going to come back where that stem is. And just do another stitch. This one's going to go straight up and down. Okay, we're going to double that one up too. I don't like how my stem is starting to come apart, so I'm going to grab it right there. Okay, and then go back in. Okay, and then we're going to do the third petal right here. All right, so I believe this is called the rule of thirds, where an odd number of items kind of looks nice to the eye. So I have 3 petals here. Just do that stitch again. So I have 1, 2, 3 petals there. I'm going to finish off this color of purple. Just go through the back one way and then go another way. It keeps your thread nice and secure in there. Okay. And then I'm going to put another French knot here, and that will be my little rosebud bloom. I think I'm going to use the same purple that I did for the bigger flower. All right, so we have our knot. Okay, so let's do a French knot right here. So you're going to come through the back. Okay, make sure not to pull your knot through the back. All right, so we are putting our thread around this way. Okay, you want your thread to be like an arch over the top. All right, we are going to wrap it 1, 2, 3 times. You can always wrap more, wrap less. It depends on how big you want your French knot to be. Go back down through the same space. See, I'm holding this taut right there as I push my needle through. There we go. I almost got my needle stuck in there. Okay, pull it through. And have your French knot. Okay? Let's finish that off. Snip it. And there you go. There's a couple flowers. So I hope this helps you. I'm going to finish up doing the rest of them and then I'll come back and show you the finished piece. Okay? Okay guys, I'm back. Told you I'd show you the finished product. And here we go. I just kind of went and did it whatever I felt would kind of go together. Didn't have a pattern on what would go where, and mixed the colors so they would kind of have a nice a little bit of yellow here and there, so it wasn't all, you know, one color in one spot. So the composition turned out well. So I hope that was helpful to someone, and I hope somebody learned something from that. If you try this on your own, I'd love to see some in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time.